Well, hello there, folks. Right, just a quick explanation about a couple of videos I've done over the last week or so. I've had a few people in the comment section having a pop, which is fine. You can have a pop as much as you want, any of you. It doesn't matter to me. You never get any abuse back. You never get any nastiness off me. You never get me wiping the comments. Sometimes I'll even message back. Sometimes a couple of the messages you do will be slightly sarcastic. But I'll never be nasty to you in any way, shape or form. But there's two subjects. One of them is Asian folk. I'm going to do that one next. And this one is over ITV Racing. We'll do that one first. Now, I did an ITV Racing video a couple of days ago now, and it's gained a bit of traction over the last couple of days. As the days have gone on, it's gained a bit more traction. And it's been seen by a few people. Nothing like the numbers that the bigger channels get, but I'm not a bigger channel. I'm a channel at the moment is struggling for viewers, for views, for numbers and everything else, which is fine. I'll cope with that. I'll get through that. No problem at all. I've got a lot going on in my life at the moment, and when things level off, I'll start chasing I'll start opening up some new avenues that will get me, I believe, more views, but now isn't the time. I just trundle on doing what I'm doing on a daily basis. I've done it for 2 years now, and I'll carry on. But I have views on things, and rightly or wrongly, I tend to stick with my views. That is unless somebody puts me on the right path. I realise I'm wrong, and then I apologise for it and maybe change tact. This ITV Racing thing I'm doing, I'm very unlikely to change tack on it anytime soon. And the reason is I think the ITV Racing offering is poor. I think it's very poor. And I think the main guy that runs the show, or the main guy that fronts it, I don't think he's up to the task. I don't think he's the right man. I've said it before and I'll say it again. You know, if we could get Nick Luck there as opposed to who's doing it now, I'd be over the moon. I think Nick Luck is 20 times better. I really do. And I think the problem starts with the show there. Another problem with the show, although a few people are backing the show and backing the way the show is put together, another problem with the show is folk have got it in their head that the show is there really to attract new folk to racing. And I think that's probably part of the remit. And I get that. I've got no problem with that at all. But I don't think it should be primarily for that. I really don't. As somebody said earlier today, racing at the moment struggling. It's going through not the greatest phase in the world. And it needs all the help it can get. I totally agree. Totally agree. But what we've got at this moment in time, we've got one channel that you don't pay for. Well, say you don't pay for if you've not got Sky or any of those big providers like your Sky or your Virgin or any of those. I don't think you can get your Sky Sports Racing unless it's on Freeview. But if you've got one of those packages, you can. You don't pay an extra subscription. RTV, yes, you do pay for. And RTV would be the one everybody would want because they've got the best meetings. You know, Sky Sports has the odd decent meeting, but in the main, it's all with RTV, and they've got all the Irish racing. And you're paying more for it, but I think it's almost worth what you're paying because I think the channel is absolutely fantastic. I think the roster of presenters in the main are pretty good. In fact, no, I think they're very good. I think it's a great channel. I think it's the nearest we've ever had to the Channel 4 roster. Channel 4 was the best of the best. And maybe that's why I've got issues, because Channel 4 was so good. ITV, for me, in comparison, is so bad. I think Channel 4 also wanted to bring new people into racing, but they tried to cater for proper racing folk. And folk that like to bet. And let's face it, without betting, we wouldn't have horse racing. We really wouldn't. Now, I'm not saying it should be all about betting. I'm not saying that at all. But I think it could be better than it is. And I did that video over the weekend in the main because I thought ITV, who were pushing the horse all the time, and it's all about the horse. Well, when the horse has got some issues, you know, when it gets over the line and it's out of breath and it's looking like it may be ready to go down and it's doused with water and lots and lots and lots of water, you've got Ed telling us, don't worry, it's all about the horse, it's getting the best care, it's getting the best this, it's getting the best that. On the other side of that coin, when we've got a horse that's been favourite for the 2,000 guineas, then favourite for the Derby, then not, but his bet is going wildly out and coming wildly back in because nobody knows what they're dealing with. When you've got Ed and the team there, and the team's a sizable team, you'd expect to know all about that horse if there's signs within or around that horse that all things either aren't well or haven't been well. When I hear on Luck on Sunday, the day after the Derby, that the horse has been suffering ringworm and there's loads of dead worm around its backside, I'm thinking, well, why has nobody on ITV told us that? Why have we not been told? You know, you've got Chapman who's supposed to really, really care about the betting side of things and the public. You've got Luke Harvey who's supposed to all be about looking after folk. You've got old Ken there, the paddock watcher who watches this, that and the other, who tells us when a horse looks good, bad or indifferent. I don't know if he was there on Saturday. I can't remember seeing him, but he probably was. I'm sure he would have noticed dead worm around his backside. If he has, he should tell us. He shouldn't be left to a trainer. I mean, I even got the trainer wrong. I said Carl Burke, it was Stuart Williams, wasn't it, that told us on Sunday. Shouldn't be left to a trainer to tell us. I'm disappointed, I really am. Look, let me say this here. ITV Racing, for me, I don't like Chamber the way he goes about things. He sensationalises absolutely everything. He pushes and pushes and pushes how great the sport is, how much we care about the horses, how much we're doing this, how much we're doing that. We all know that. You don't have to keep pushing it, because when you do, it doesn't, to me, sound sincere. He goes to these big meetings. Epsom, there's nothing like Epsom. Epsom in the sun, the hill there, but Chester, there's nothing like this. The Wall City, it's absolutely fantastic. The Little Round Court, there's nothing like Glorious Goodwood, is it? August, I don't know, in August, it's fantastic. We're here at York at the Ebo meeting. The Yorkshire folk really love the racing. They really, really love the racing here. Do they not love anywhere else in Yorkshire? And he goes on and on and on. There's nothing like Royal Ascot. Nothing like Royal Ascot at all. Everybody wants the Queen to have a winner. And I don't need it. I don't need it. I want him to present the show professionally, tell us what we need to know, and have the team doing the same. Now, I have different people calling different presenters, different people that work on the show in my comment section. Let me tell you what I really think of all of them. Because some of them I don't really mind, and some folk don't like some that I do, and vice versa. Chamberlain, I think, is the wrong man for the job, or he needs to change the way he goes about things, and I don't think he can. Francesca, who's his main number 2, I don't mind her. Good-looking girl, although it shouldn't be about that. Lovely clothes horse. Normally her outfits are fantastic. Sometimes she makes real boobs, but in the main she looks good. I think she loves the racing. She cares about racing. Daughter of Luca Cavani. But she never really has a proper opinion. She's somebody that wants to agree with everybody else. I put Nick Luck next to Chambo, and Nick Luck wipes the floor with him. I put Lydia Hislop next to Francesca. I don't want to say Lydia wipes the floor with her, but she's just far superior. She's better at the job and she's more knowledgeable. Sometimes Lydia goes too far, especially when she's doing the old Road to Cheltenham with Ruby. She gets a bit too technical and a bit wordy for me. But in the main, I think she's brilliant at what she does. Is she the clothes horse that Francesca is? No, she's not. Francesca always looks better. They're different animals altogether. But which is the better presenter? It's Lydia. Simple as that. And then we've got Mulrennan and the other young lady from Stoke. They're not bad. They do the best, but again, they really don't offer an opinion. They've got nothing to say that really, really interests me. Rishi Prasad, I quite like Rishi. There's a few in the comment section don't like him. I like Rishi. I like him. He's a master of all sports, really, He does the snooker, he does the bowls, he does the this, he does the that. He's extremely competent. He's extremely likeable. I think he's really genuine. I think he's a nice fella. I like Rishi. Mind you, he did me one favour once, but that isn't the reason I like him. He doesn't know me, by the way. He doesn't know me. He did me a favour, but he did. But I like Rishi. I do. Who else have we got? Chapman does my pig in head in. He's definitely a Poundland McCurrick. Definitely a Poundland. My mate keeps saying to me, he can't be that bad, Grumps. He can't be that. He calls me Dave. Can't be that bad, Dave. He's done them interviews with Henry Cecil. He won't suffer fool Cecil. And Cecil quite liked him and played along with it. I think Chapman as a fella probably isn't that bad. But he's just irritating. And he thinks he's fantastic. If it was a lolly eyes, he'd lick himself. There'd be nothing left. But some people see through him. Some bosses in high places on dancing on ice saw through him. I wish somebody would on ITV Racing. This bit with the big wellies on and lying on the grass and all that palaver. And you ask him a question and he takes over the show with 6 lines of answers all over the top. When everybody else on the panel just gives 1-line answers. So he's too much for me. He really, really is. He tries to be McCurrick and he's not as good. Now, some don't like McCurrick. I was up and down with him from time to time, but in the end I got to love him. And I miss him. I'd rather have McCrick than Chapman any day of any week. Who else have we got? Mick Fitzgerald. He's all right, but I'm sick of seeing his hand. He got big hands for a small fella. Only small, these jockeys. Massive hands. I'm not so sure. I think he's a nice fella. I quite like him, but he talks a bit of cack, although I know he's been a jockey. I think I'd probably rather see him on the National Hunt than the Flats. Jason Weaver, don't mind him at all. I don't mind Jason, he's fine. I don't mind him, he's all right. He's all right. Who does that leave? Luke Harvey? Yeah, pain in the backside. Pain in the backside. He plays up as the class clown. They put him up as the class clown. He plays up as it. Because that's part of the remit. I think that's in his contract, to act the GOAT. And he acts the GOAT like nobody else we know. You know, but some people don't like him. Barney Cully's gone now. We can't talk to Barney about him. But some don't like him. These times I'd rather not have him. I mean, if they're trying to get a new audience in and attract them to racing, does a new audience want to listen to Luke sometimes? So that he did the other week with the chicken wings, the hot chicken wings. It might have got watched by 2 million people. Chamberlain told us the next day he was raving about it. But them 2 million people are thinking, what a pillock this fella is. What's he all about? It was just stage management. Poor, really poor. When we've got an horse racing show, what's this about eating wings that are too hot and getting it filmed and stuff? That's not horse racing. There's probably more that present on there. If there is, I can't think of who they are. But I'll give you an idea of what I think. I have a pop at ITV Racing. That's what started this. I've had a couple of them moan at me. There's a guy had a moan at me. I can't remember his name. Probably a nice fella. Turns out he's a race presenter or commentator himself. Does a bit of commentating in that Far East and whatever else. Don't know him. Never heard of him before. That's fine. He'd never heard of me. He's criticised me. Let him. No problem at all. I won't get in a slanging match with him. I've heard some of his commentaries. I'm not going to tell him what I think of his commentaries. If he's happy and his bosses are, that's fine. I get where he's coming from about ITV. He said it's our shop window and they give us lots and lots of time and do lots of meetings. I totally agree. I think ITV are brilliant, absolutely brilliant with the number of meetings they're now giving us. Sometimes the extra races at these top meetings they're giving us. I think it's fantastic. And I think that when they've got these extra meetings on where ITV can't cover them, they throw them over to ITV4. They've got another channel. Fantastic. But that doesn't mean to say I think it should be done, one, unprofessionally, and I think a lot of it is, and two, just for the new public. They need more into racing. Of course they do. But they need not lose these folk that watch racing anyway. These folk that watch racing have watched it all their lives are getting fed up with ITV Racing. The amount of people that come in here and say they won't watch it anymore, they'll watch RTV, or they watch it and forward through it all, or they watch it with the sound off. That's no good for ITV. They don't want folk watching it with the sound off or flicking through it. I mean, they get revenue from ads. If you flick through everything and you flick through everything going race to race, nobody's seeing any of the ads. They're not getting any revenue from that. That's no good for ITV. It's really, really poor, I think. And it could be a whole lot better. The Racecallers, great. No problem with those that do the race calling. They have 2 or 3 guys, one main guy. No problem with him. He's a bit of a know-it-all. But what he knows, he's very good. He's very good. Somebody mentioned the TriCast that was given on Saturday morning. That's some bet and won good money on. Kevin Blake, nothing against him. Goes a bit too deep and a bit too technical for me because I'm not that clever. But I know he's brilliant at what he does. No problem with Kevin Blake. None at all. Old Ken looking at the horses. Think he's a nice fella. I think he probably knows what he's on about. But normally if Ken says, this is the one, this is the horse for me, it's in good form, that's the one I won't back. And normally I'll do well by not backing it. That's all I can say about Ken. That's all I can say. Oh, that's it. Ollie Bell. A lot call him. I don't mind him, and I don't mind him a bit less since I've heard what Ted Walsh said about him. It surprised me. So I've started watching him more closely, and he's not that bad. For all he's a bit plummy. But what I will say, I wish to goodness he would stop talking about, is it Tipping Tom, Tipping Tim, Tipping... It tipped to through tulips, I don't... Is it Tipping Tom? I think it's Tipping Tom. I think it's Tipping Tom. Is it his best mate? Are they having an affair? Because he never stops on about Tipping Tom, Tipping Tom, Tipping Tom. It's doing my pig in head in. That's another feature I could do without. I just don't know. I want more. I want a racing programme, but I want it where they tell us, the punters, what we need to know. We should have heard about that horse in the Derby on Saturday. They're there for 4 or 5 hours. Anybody could have told us that. They didn't. We should have more insights into betting and whatever. One thing that they should do, I'll tell you what they should do, that's not in any newspapers anymore. You used to open a newspaper and you used to look at your main meetings, they would say, Ascot today, 6 furlongs, high numbers best. 7 furlongs, mid numbers best. Or 6 furlongs, high numbers, when stalls are on racecourse side, blah, 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 blah. ITV should tell you all that. They're the kind of things that ITV should tell you. The papers aren't telling you anymore. Without you going online and seeing which is the best draw, then it's often only opinion anyway. They're not telling you. Tell them the ITV Racing, do that kind of stuff. Do simple things like that could help punters. Yes, try to bring new people in, but don't do it by acting the goat and being stupid. Bring new people in by showing them the odd horse race feature, yes. Don't go over the top about how much we look after horses and the horses come first. Mention it. Mention that those people that look after the horses on a daily basis love the horses and feel that they're almost their own pets. Mention that, but don't go over the top. Don't have all this acting the goat like old Luke does with the ribs or the wings and then running down the field and you're filming him. What's that all about? It's embarrassing. That's not going to invite new people. They're going to think, what on earth is this kind of sports all about? I'm not watching that. I'm going to flick over to BBC One or BBC Two. Think about it. And think about Chambo changing his tact altogether about how he presents or get someone that could do it better, like Nick Luck. And let me say this, when Nick Luck first came on Channel 4 Racing, I weren't that keen. You know, he comes across as a bit of a Tory boy, a bit plummy and whatever else. But within about 6 weeks, 7, 8 weeks or whatever it was, I thought, this guy is good. And that was in his early days. He's got better and better and better. He's best in class for me. ITV are not camera, into people's homes. ITV are getting our sport into folks' homes all over GB. I get that. If you're going to do that and you're the flagship show, get the top presenter to front it. And that is Nick Luck. That isn't me. I've got nothing against Chamberlain. He's done me no harm. He doesn't know me. I don't know him. But I don't like the way he presents the show. And that's just me. That doesn't mean to say everyone else has got to dislike him. But I think that most that watch this channel sort of do. And as I say, for the guy that messaged me early that commentates on the racing and whatever, that's fine, have your own opinion. I don't mind that at all. No, I don't want ITV Racing to lose the contract. Yes, I do think they do a brilliant job with the amount of meetings and races they show us. Yes, I do. But I don't think they look after the racing public as well as they should, and the bettors as well as they should. They could offer a better product. And I think they try too hard for those that aren't interested in racing, that are probably never going to be interested in racing. Because there's some people that you just can't turn around. And I think you're just chasing and chasing and chasing them. You're never going to get them. The worry should be losing the people that you've got that care about the racing. That is why I'll keep banging on about ITV Racing until it improves, or improves in my eyes. So I'll be watching ITV Racing tomorrow, and if it's poor and I hear things that are poor, I'll come on air again and say it. And if I don't, I won't. If ITV Racing do a show tomorrow and it's brilliant and everyone's spot on and on the ball and doing the job right, I'll have nothing to say. Simple as that, I'll have nothing to say. I'll watch Ascot every day next week, and if they present brilliant, it's a great show, I'll tell you that. And if they don't, I'll tell you they don't. And it'll be just my opinion. That's the way it is. Sorry about the rant. There's one coming up about Asian people in a minute.